Um, can you explain the role of data analytics
Okay.
in growth marketing? And
Okay.
what is data analytics? How is it used? When is it used? Where is it used? And why is it used?
Okay. See, data analytics is basically used from starting of when you're planning your campaign till the end of your campaign.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Reverr Talks. Reverr Talks is an initiative by Reverr, wherein we invite mentors, entrepreneurs from various industries, and ask them various amount of questions about their topics, domains, and ask them about their journey. And all of us learn together, grow together, and innovate together. So today we have Shathyan Raja. Shathyan has been a growth marketer by profession, and he has over 8+ years of experience focused on performance marketing in user acquisition, engagement, retention, and product growth. He has worked extensively on mobile application growth, and that is the mobile downloads and e-commerce. His past experiences include Viva Video, an app wherein he got the app to over 800 million users with status, which was a short video content app, just like TikTok or something, in which he got it from 0 to 50 million plus installs in a year. I mean, that's absolutely amazing. And he has a lot of experience in the e-commerce segment as well. Currently, he's leading the growth and user acquisition at Loco, which is a live game streaming platform. It's an honor to have you here, Shathyan.
Sure. Thanks, Jatin. It is always a great pleasure to connect with you and also all the budding entrepreneurs who are here.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Satyan, before we get into the nitty-gritties, how about you just tell us about your journey, and how did you come across growth marketing? How did you discover growth marketing? Were you always someone who had this instinct towards marketing? How Just tell us about your journey.
Sure. So basically, I started this digital marketing around 2011-12. So that time, while I was doing my engineering, I was more eager about making money online. So I used to search online like how to make money online, and I found out a way called blogging. So that time, blogging was something which was more new. Now it's more common in the world, but that time it was very new, and that was one of the unique way to make money online. So I started to learn about that. I started to write content, had my own blogs in Blogspot, and I had Google AdSense, and I started to make money online. So those were all self-learning, which I learned from other articles, and I started to make money. But I didn't know that was actually called as digital marketing. I know that is called blogging, and I was making money online. Then when I got deeper into it, like slowly, whatever I learned online, I used to experiment in my blogs, increase the traffic, increase the users who come and read my blogs. And I slowly got to know the terms, like that is called search engine optimization. When you share your articles on social media, that is called social media marketing, and slowly got into it deeper. Then eventually I came across the term like internet marketing. So that time digital marketing was still more newer term. So that time it was more called as internet marketing. Then when I got into internet marketing, I came across how it is different from the normal traditional marketing, what all different aspects we need to know when you market a product. So slowly I got into that. Then I got more interest into marketing. So basically, I was doing my engineering in computer science. From there, I got more interested into marketing by doing these things. Then I got into my MBA in marketing to learn more about marketing in deeper, because whatever I knew, whatever I learned from online is just fine for my own ways to make money. But when you get into professional, it's more something which you need to understand the basics, understand more about your product and the consumers. So I took my MBA, and then after that, it's been a roller coaster ride for me, because I also knew about what is fundamentals of marketing. Plus, since also I know about internet marketing, I combined these both, and I got into this digital marketing field overall. And digital
Got
marketing
it.
again is on a top layer. There are different things which we can
Got it.
discuss in between.
Got it. So yeah, just you know, a couple of questions off topic. Shatin, what is this thing
Yeah.
that I noticed that all engineers end up either in finance or marketing? Why can't you guys just choose
Okay.
commerce?
Got it. No, because see, even if you ask me myself here, growth marketing, see, it's about engineering your growth into the product. Because this is not
Okay.
something like a marketing, what a marketing person or a salesperson does normally. Because when you come into this digital world or this digital marketing, it's more about how you are understanding your product, how you are understanding your consumers, and how you are segmenting those consumers, and then trying to reach your product in front of them. Because see, when you talk about offline or traditional marketing, you know the particular segment of users or the locations where you just need to put your product over. But
Yeah.
online, it's very vast. See, you need to understand how Facebook algorithm works. You need to understand how a Google algorithm works. So when I talk about algorithm, these are something which comes in engineering. I don't think that you will know about algorithm or the basic things like data structures, which is there in commerce or some other field. So when you understand these tech plus the marketing, that's where you come into this digital or the performance growth marketing of today's world.
Got it. So, a lot of terms mentioned here, digital marketing, growth marketing, algorithms, too fancy, too fancy.
Okay.
Let's break everything down. Okay.
Okay.
So let's come one by one. Just summarize what is digital marketing
Okay.
in, from a helicopter view.
That's very simple. Just what is digital marketing? It's just simple. Like if you understand what is digital, digital is you call Facebook as digital, Google is digital. Whatever you do online is digital. So when you market your product or services in these platforms, that is simple as digital marketing. But and again, under digital marketing, there are different ways. You call organic marketing, you call paid marketing. Under that, where there are many subcategories or
Now
categories.
we had only three complex terms. You added two more things: organic and paid. We'll come to that. Don't worry. Now let's talk about your forte and the reason of this podcast. Let's talk
Got
about growth marketing.
yeah.
What is growth marketing? Uh, is it different from growth
See,
hacking?
growth marketing is just
Uh, yeah.
yes. See, growth hacking is something completely different, but that comes under a part of digital marketing. See, everything what you do digital is digital marketing. Okay. See, growth marketing, growth hacking can be similar terms or can be different terms. It's only the approach what you do is going to be different. See, growth marketing in general is about your activities which you are doing to grow your product or to grow your business. There could be multiple ways what you can do. So that's different things. Growth hacking is something which you are doing in an unconventional way. See, when you talk about digital marketing or growth marketing, I could say you can run Facebook ads, you can run Google ads, which is a common thing which you also do and your competitor also will be doing. So that is not a growth hacking. But when you do something unique or unconventional thing to grow your business, that is something what you call as a growth hacking. And that growth hacking, when you do
Okay.
initially, that's called growth hacking, but then when it's followed, then that is not a growth hacking, it's just a type of marketing, I would say.
Okay. So what is your if I ask you specifically, what is your go-to let's growth strategy? So let's say you were working on this short platform video app, right? Wherein you scaled it from zero to
Yeah,
50 million users. So I'm not talking about when it
yeah.
hit 10 million or 20 million or even a million or even thousand. How
Okay.
was the journey from zero to 100 and what did you do?
Okay. See, always 0 to 10 or even 0 to 100 is something where you need to handhold your product plus your users. So for this 0 to 100, our main journey was getting in touch with the users directly through digital ways. Since we know it's a short video content app, we joined few communities on Facebook, like Facebook groups, WhatsApp groups, where we know like these are our relevant audience, and these are some communities which are related to the short videos or the content creators. So we went inside the group, uh, had communication with those users, and then we onboarded them manually. Manually, in the sense, we messaged them, had a conversation, and then we onboarded inside the platform. Why we did this? Because you can do this digitally, sitting from one place across India or across the world. That is digital. But thing is, when you for the initial set of growth or initial set of users, when you talk with them, get to understand your users better, that will help you to grow your product and also scale up your marketing in future. Because first initial users are someone who is going to help you in your product growth, both in terms of feedback plus also growing your product brand awareness, or more of becoming a brand ambassador for your product.
Okay, so you mentioned brand.
Yeah.
Brand. So brand is something that I think that comes on a very later stage. So if there's a startup who is started at a very nascent stage, so let's say 0 users, then he achieves milestone 100, then 500, 1,000, 1,500, goes on. What at what let's say use at what time, at what amount of users that the startup has already gathered, do you think that brand has started to build up automatically?
Okay, so that depends on your audience size or the market which you are trying to solve. See, normally when you start your business, initially we all focus on user acquisition. So that's the first thing what we focus, because to run your business we need users, we need paying users, or we need some good users so that we can raise funds. But that's not going to happen with branding kind of a campaign. When you do branding kind of campaign, you will get the reach, but it's not going to convert directly into your users. So at what point you want to get into marketing, into branding, that depends on your customer size or number of users whom you have acquired already. See, for example, a short video content kind of an app, the target market is pan India, like all the users in India, since like it's not something specific to a particular audience. It's not. So normally we can say like 100 million mobile users in India who has internet access. So 100 million users is the target audience. So how the brand builds over here is, at least when you reach around 25 million or 30 million kind of users, then you start pitching into your brand marketing, and automatically your product also builds your brand for itself. Because when you keep on marketing your product and acquiring the users, automatically the brand also builds over a period of time.
Got it. So coming back to growth marketing, I mean, if we talk about brand marketing, I think that's another podcast in itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Coming back to growth marketing, let's say if there's this guy, just give me a good name.
Uh, Something. Uh, okay, Sagar.
Okay, let's say Sagar. So there's this guy Sagar, and Sagar has an amazing idea.
Okay.
What he does is that it's a tech product, it's an app. Sagar has a good tech team. Sagar has zero knowledge of marketing, doesn't know anything about marketing, is good at tech, has developed the product, or somehow has outsourced the development. Now the product is ready for launch. Sagar has recently put the app on Play Store and App Store.
Okay.
He has just put the app. He doesn't know anything about ASO or any SEO or something. He has just put the app. Now Sagar wants users. Sagar doesn't have a lot of money, because this is something that either you can run paid campaigns, but not everybody can afford it. So Sagar doesn't have a lot of money. Sagar cannot go to the investors until Sagar shows a good amount of traction. Right. Now, what do you think Sagar should do? And what are those techniques, if you could specify, like in the bullet points, like 1, 2, 3, 4. These are some of the techniques that Sagar can use to grow organically.
Got it. Okay. See, first thing, like you mentioned about Sagar knows the product, but he doesn't know marketing. I agree with that. But Sagar knows who his customers are, who his audience are, first of all.
Yes.
So when he knows that's the key thing for marketing. So first of all, when he knows that, then he knows where the users are. Like he knows who the users, then he has to know where they are. Either they are on Facebook, Google, or is there some other platforms where they are spending their time. Then to start with, since he is at zero, then he has to connect with those users. Like it could be, it can be through connecting through social media, or it can be through some other platform where he connects and explains them about the product. See, I'm talking about more of an organic way initially, from 0 to 10 kind of thing. Because from 0 to 10, when you directly focus on other like search engines or organic growth through app store optimization,
let's
you may
talk
not
about
get
0 to 1,000, 0 to 1,000. I mean,
okay.
What about that mark?
Okay, then first thing I would say is, first for the initial users, connect with the users, understand them, know what they are, what is their behavior, what is their psychology and their interest. Next thing is start optimizing your Play Store and the App Store kind of listing.
Okay.
So that is more like a landing page for your product. So you have to
Okay.
bring users to those landing page, and then from there the users will start converting into an install and then to registration and whatever the app.
Okay.
So how you are going to bring the traffic to that particular Play Store or App Store page? That is what like you have to focus on App Store
That's the
optimization.
entire game. That's the entire
Entire.
game.
And next thing is normal things, since we are, you can do some social media marketing, like promoting your apps in social community groups, which you can do. Or you can get joined with some other niche communities where you think your relevant audience is and start building it. Plus, if you are good in content, then you can start writing contents, do a content marketing around your app in other platforms, so that that also brings traffic to your Play Store or App Store page. But
Okay. Got it.
this only happens till bringing the traffic to the Play Store or App Store. After that, it's more about understanding how your user behaves in installing the app. It's not like you bring 100 users to the Play Store page, not 100 users will install the app. Again, there will be a drop off where only like 30 to 40% of the users will install your app. So you need to understand the pattern and the data over there, how the users are behaving, and what changes you can make on this Play Store, so that that can increase your conversion rate to another number of installs.
Got it. So let's say Sagar today wants, as you mentioned before, organic growth. Or let me just rephrase it, wants a growth through word of mouth.
Okay.
Okay. Wants word of mouth. Can you talk about word of mouth growth, and is it the best manner that we've been hearing? And how, so we've been hearing the legends like Zerodha, who have grown only through word of mouth, and their customer acquisition cost, another a very hefty term we need to talk about, has been negative rather,
Yeah.
right? So can you just share your views on this?
See, word of mouth is always a better way to market your product, because it's already a trust is built on that user. Plus, when that user is sharing your product to his friends, automatically that user is also going to convert 100%, because that is where the trust is, which is passing to the multiple users. But how that word of mouth is going to happen is only through your initial set of customers. So that's where I talked about 0 to 10 or 0 to 100, where we spend time with the users directly. So when we spend a lot of time with the users directly, they also think like we are something, we are serious into the business. We are also building, trying to build a better quality of the product, or trying to solve a particular problem what they are facing. So these initial set of users are something which you have to build by manual connections, talking with them. And then these 100 set of customers will be your marketing ambassadors, where they will be doing your word of mouth marketing for your product to their friends and family. So that will initially work. But to get those word of mouth initial set of users, you need to spend time in acquiring them manually, like reaching out to them,
Okay.
connecting with them.
So in simple terms, for the initial set of users, founders को बेशरम होना पड़ता है.
Yes, yes.
Like
Or
just go
else,
out.
you need to have your, or else you, as a founder, you need to be your brand by themselves, like how Elon Musk is there. Like you will be a brand, so
Of
when you
course.
be, automatically your followers are going to do that.
I mean, Elon Musk has set a great example, but my God, it's all about the personal brand, I think.
First,
So
yeah,
personal
that
brand,
is
personal community. If you have a community
correct.
of your own, and if you launch an app, then you can just directly tell them that, hey, dude, I've launched an app. Just go check it out, and they'll check it out
Yeah,
because they are your community members.
yes. It's basically your founder is acting as an influencer by themselves.
Got it. Got it. Talking about growth marketing again, do you think like the traditional marketing, that is billboards, the flyers and all of that, is now dead when compared to growth marketing or growth hacking?
Yes, exactly. It's, I won't say it's dead, but it has reduced a lot, I would say. But eventually, there are companies who spend on that if when they think that user acquisition is something which they have driven, or they have reached a saturation point on digital way. Normally, because why I won't say like traditional marketing won't work, because you can't measure your result. Plus, you can't target your audience whom you want to target. See, if I go on a road, I see a billboard. Either it can be related to me or it may not be related to me. But you are targeting all the users who are passing by that way. But in digital, there's no such way to do it. You are going to target your audience, target your users based on your product and service. So that is number one. Next is the measurement of these campaigns. See, you might not know what the user is doing after seeing your billboard ad. I might go, or I might again try that what on that after 2 or 3 days. It's all depends. But on digital, it's completely where you can measure. So if I see your ad, you will come to know like I'm seeing your ad. Then if I install, you know what I have done completely
It's
inside the
much more
platform. And
efficient. It's much more efficient digital because you just pinpoint out that this is only in my audience. Just show the ads to these people, and there's higher conversion rate rather than
correct.
spending millions of dollars into billboards or
Yes.
something.
That's what for user acquisition or performance marketing, digital ads would be good. But once this is saturated, you want to focus more on mass media or branding. I think those billboards would be the next thing. What you
Okay, so some of the subsets of growth marketing, they call it as product-led growth,
yeah
community-led growth, and then we obviously talked about word of mouth.
yeah
Can you just talk about the first two that I've just mentioned?
Okay. See, first thing I'll talk about the community-led growth. See, community-led growth is the same thing which I mentioned about the 0 to 100 users, because that is your community. That's what you have built initially, and those are the users who are going to grow your
So
community or
is it wise for you to build a community before launching a product?
it depends on your product or your consumer base. If you're doing something in a B2C, something more of a vast mass audience like entertainment, I don't think there you need to build a community before building a product. But if you're something focused on a niche market, like
Right.
gaming audiences, or you're into a D2C e-commerce where you focus on mothers or kind of audience, you can start building your community over there and then start marketing your product. But if it's a mass audience, I don't recommend building a community before building a product.
Because
But
of course
that's
there's
where your
niche
community
important.
led growth happens. You build a community. Yes, yes.
Okay, so what
And
about the
in terms
product-led
of
growth?
the yeah, so in terms of product led growth, it depends on both how your product is engineered to bring in users in a loop way. Because even in growth marketing or a product led marketing, it's not about a process, a funnel where you keep on adding new users to go deep. So it also should be a wheel where a user comes and he repeats the same process so that he also goes and brings in new users. Because when you build a product, it's obviously for the end users. So these users need to have some, we normally call it as two terms. Like in a building a product, there are two moments. One is the magic moment and then the habit moment. Magic moment is basically when the user comes to the platform, he finds an aha moment, like this is what something he was looking for, and then he sticks with the platform. Then slowly that magic moment becomes an habit moment for the user. So he keeps doing it repeatedly on his in his life cycle, which also brings in more new users through other his recommendation, referral, or the word of mouth.
Got it. So I was actually studying growth marketing, and I was I've been reading so many blogs, reading so many books. I've been reading this book called Hacking Growth. I'm sure you must be aware about.
Yeah,
So there's this
seen.
process. There's this process that's basically that goes like this: awareness, then comes
Acquisition.
activation, then comes acquisition, then comes your retention, then is your referral,
Revenue
and your final is your
and revenue.
revenue. So
Yes.
can you just talk about this process and how at each step, a first time founder who doesn't know anything about marketing, let's say Sagar, who doesn't know anything
Okay.
about this, can benefit from this or can apply this into his own application?
Got it. Yeah. See, this is a framework which all the growth marketers will follow, because this is something which can break down your complete product growth or a business growth. See, as you mentioned, that is actually called a pirate funnel, like triple R, which starts with the awareness. So awareness is basically building your product awareness, where you reach out to more people to market your product. Like this is an app, what I have, this is a product which I have, which can solve your particular solution. So that is more about building awareness. So when you build awareness, awareness is more like reaching to 1,000 people. So out of 1,000 people who saw your ad or who came came to know about your product. Out of that, next comes the acquisition. So out of 100 users who saw your ad, might be like around 500 users who have clicked that ad and came to your installed your app. Okay, so
Okay.
that is something like the acquisition. So you have around 1,000 users who know about it, installed users, or 500 registered, 500 users, installed users. That is acquisition. Next comes the activation part. Activation part is mainly, this differs between your product, what is called as activation. For few
Okay.
in startups, it can be registration of the particular user, because it's not like all 100% of the users who installed will register into your product. They would have installed, but then they would have dropped off. So then maybe registration would be a simple example to say that would be your activation. So user gets activated inside a platform. So you get his data like mobile number or email ID, which you can also do some push campaigns or engagement campaigns. So that comes the activation. So you have got the user. Then comes the retention part. So now once you got the users, now it's your job to retain that user. It's not like the user comes, installs, registers, sees your app, and then uninstall and leaves the app. He has to retain inside the platform. He has to regularly come and use your product, or use your content, consume your content, those kind of things. So that comes the retention part. Retention part is basically like how you engage with your users and make them retain inside the platform for a longer term. Like it's not like we call it like day 0, day 1, day 7, day 30 kind of retention. So day 0 is always the day when which the user has installed and registered inside your app. So then it comes the next day. So for day 1, whether he has opened your app or consumed any content inside the app. Then like that we see till day 7, day 30, which gives a healthy meaning to your product. So if your day 30, like day 0 would be 100%. So if day 30 is like around 30%, 40%, then it's a healthy thing where you also know you have got the product market fit, so that people are using your product on a regular intervals of time. So that is mainly on the engagement part, which
Got
helps
it.
in the retention. And then comes the revenue part, is basically making money from those users. And once you make the money from that users providing their service, they automatically will be helping you in referring their friends and customers, which comes the referral part.
So you talked about user acquisition, right? And we've talked about over this entire podcast, we have talked about user acquisition a lot, from going 0 to 10, 0 to 100. So initially the founder needs to, talk to people, join into communities, try to grow things organically. But once the mark of 0 to 1,000 has been achieved, let's say, right, and he has tried everything,
Oh,
his playbook is exhausted now. His organic thing and
okay.
his energy is also exhausted. First of all, I don't think so. Founder का energy कभी really exhaust होगा, but still, that's it. He's out of the marketing gimmicks and all that. Now, what does he do? How does he take his journey of user acquisition from 1,000 to, let's say, 1,000,000?
Okay. See, now when you talk about million, from 1,000 to million, that's where your majority of the paid marketing comes in. Because
Okay.
nowadays it's more about competing on a paid campaign. You organic growth, I won't say it's dead. It is there, but the competition for that is too much as of now. So you can't wait. And also another thing is organic growth is a very slow process. When you want instant growth, that's where your paid marketing also comes in. See, it's also time factor. You can reach 1,000 to 1,000,000 organically, maybe in 10 years or 20 years of time. But it's about whether you have capital and time to wait for the organic growth. So that's why most of the startups, almost 100% of the startups, get into paid marketing so that they see the growth faster. So it's about paid marketing where you get it. And then again, paid marketing is a broader thing. You need to understand which channels will work for you, which channels will not work, and how you have to structure your campaigns. Because in paid marketing, running an ad is a very easy. It's just a step-by-step process. It's not a rocket science. You just see a YouTube video and you will know like how to run an ad on Google, Facebook, or any platform. But its only thing is how you are going to structure a campaign and how you are going to build your audience or target your audience from those platforms. So that's where the major thing differs between a normal person or a market who knows about better in marketing. So that's
God.
where you need to spend more time. Like it's not about how to run the ads, but it's about how you are going to understand the product and the audience through this, and then target those users using these platforms.
So the positioning, the value, the product that you have made. Once, so let's say if once I've invited some users to my platform, do they like the platform or not? Is my platform good enough for their time, and good enough to retain them? I think so.
Yes.
These are some of the very important terms that I think that you mentioned. Um,
Yes.
See, all of this is okay. I got the basic gist. Paid marketing comes in, but a lot of startup founders, especially now in 2022, we have been hearing this mass layoff from the startup industry, like Unacademy, Misho, who like Byju's, everybody, Byte has Junior. Uh, all of this has been blamed uh, on the unnecessary expenditure on marketing,
Yeah.
right? Which is why they are not being able to pay the salaries of these people, and they're just firing them ruthlessly. What are your comments on that? So at the end of the day, it's better to become a physics wala than an academy, don't you think?
Uh, See, both are correct, I would say. Only thing is, Physics Wala took this much of time to get into the limelight. But Unacademy and Byju's long before when they started. Within 6 months, you would have known about Unacademy. So that's what I said. Organic and paid, that's the difference over here. Plus,
Agreed, but physics wala doesn't have any customer acquisition cost.
but it took time for him so long. That's the only
Yeah.
difference, I would say. Uh, uh, that's
Okay,
that's the
so
only difference
which
I would
which
say.
which house are you on? Do you, if let's say tomorrow Shathyan is about to open a brand of his own,
Okay.
what would Shathyan do?
I would either it's me or even other founders. I would initially say go with organic at the initial point of time. Only if you go with organic, see, organic is something the toughest way to acquire the users. When you are able to crack that, then paid is something, it should be an add-on for your growth. So it's like you can stop, restart the paid marketing whenever you need. Because you should not completely rely on paid marketing in acquiring the users and growing a business. That will not help in sustainable business, I would say. See, organic
Got
is
it.
something which will help you in a longer term also.
Got it. Got it.
And also you mentioned like the startups which are currently doing. See, even in those startups, like they spend lots on marketing, but it's about where they spend and why they spend too much. Either see if suppose I'm spending 1 lakh this month, next month I can increase the budget. Only it depends on whether this month I got a better return on the investment or not. Or else it's not like blindly, okay, this month I spent 1 lakh, next month I should spend 5 lakhs. It's not just increasing the numbers, but it should be valuable where you got a return on investment or not.
Okay. So in case of let's say an academy, do you think that while they are having these paid campaigns and all of that stuff, do you think they would reach a saturation point when acquiring a new customer is actually bad for them?
Correct, exactly. I even think like currently they might not be spending more on user acquisition rather than they would be spending more on branding and retargeting campaigns. So that's what all these top companies should be doing. I think I'm not sure like what is their plan, but that's how, because the Unacademy or even Flipkart, Myntra, Amazon, these are like top brands. Like everyone knows about this brand. It's not like they have to acquire a new user who doesn't know about these brands or in front of their target audience. So it's more about staying in top of the mind. Like someone, when they think if I want to shop online, then they should think about Amazon or Flipkart. So it's more
Yeah.
about the branding level plus on the retargeting part. It's not about they are acquiring the users, because see, if suppose I shopped first time in Amazon maybe in 2013 or 14, then they already acquired me. It's more about retargeting, showing the ad again and again, so that I be on
So
so that
for retention, I guess, for retention.
yes, retargeting, retention, and also it's more on a branding level also.
All right, all right. So before now comes the last part, last section of our podcast. It's been a lovely ride. A complex question, right? And if I would really appreciate, since you're an engineer, so you to definitely find it very easy. But for the people like us, the Aam Aadmi, the Mango people, can you explain the role of data analytics
Okay.
in growth marketing? And
Okay.
what is data analytics? How is it used? When is it used? Where is it used? And why is it used?
Okay. See, data analytics is basically used from starting of when you're planning your campaign till the end of your campaign. So even when I'm speaking now, I talk few things about data. Like I mentioned about, there could be 100 visitors visiting your Play Store, but only 50 users would be installing
Yes.
here.
Yes.
So that is, and data which is talks about conversion rate. So that there are different terms for this. So conversion rate. So like this, each and every point there will be a data which you need to know how the users are behaving inside your product. See, there are two things: users outside your product and then inside your product. Outside your product is something where you rely on your Google Ads or Facebook Ads data, where they show like how many people reached your ad, how many people clicked your ad, how many people installed or purchased, add to cart. Those are your external data which you see from these platforms like Google, Facebook, other things. Plus, on the other side, it's the data which is within your platform. Like if it's your app or a website, you need to know like what the users are doing inside your platform.
Okay.
Basically, these are called events or the trigger points within your platform. So each and every action what a user does, that needs to be recorded by you, and then you need to understand what percentage of users are doing, or how that campaign is performing, or how you can increase those performance with the help of data. Because data is something which should be your first thing when you are spent. That too, organic is fine because there is no money spent. But in paid marketing, data is something which you have to completely rely on for your growth.
And you have to see which strategy or which campaign is working. So let's say if Instagram ads is working, the data shows it. If Google ads is working, then focus on that. So you can
Correct.
look at the platform. So data never lies, as I said.
Correct. Yes.
One more thing, while we're on the subject of data, what is a KPI?
Okay. See, KPI, it could vary between each platform or each product. For example, like if suppose you're having an app product and you focus on acquiring more number of users, like installs, then there your KPI should be, your key performance indicator should be the cost per install.
Okay.
Okay. But again, it depends. If it completely depends on what your metric you're focusing on. If you want more volume of users, or if you are focusing on more retention users, or more number of purchases or orders, so that should be your KPI always. And that's where you
Okay.
need to optimize your campaigns towards that particular KPI. Because if
So
suppose like you have a KPI like you need to get more number of orders, then you shouldn't focus on getting more number of users in terms of installs. Eventually your campaign, your whole strategy should be towards making more number of purchases.
got it. So KPI is basically key performance indicator, and every founder or every startup has unique KPIs,
Yes.
and it's not necessary that every KPI is relevant to the other or the every startup, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Lovely. I think that brings us to the end, Shatyan. It was an absolute delight and pleasure to have you and talk about growth marketing in such simple language. Before we end things, before we log off, can you just tell or give one tip that you would want to give to an aspiring founder or a first time founder or a budding entrepreneur that you think that this is a must in case of growth marketing or general marketing?
Okay. See that, yeah, I would maybe say two things. One, when you're starting
Sure.
new, I always suggest go for organic and go and speak with your consumers directly. Like directly in sense, either in person or through digital media. So that's where you will be able to understand about your users properly. Because if you hire an external marketing person, he may not know about your product or your consumers better than you. See, you are the right person where you need to understand about your consumers, and then you need to give your idea to your marketing person, like who are your audience, how to target them or whom to target. Because a marketing person may be good in targeting that particular person or particular group of audience, but he may not be good enough like you to understand your consumers. So that is first thing. Second thing is, before getting, if suppose your business or a product idea is something similar to the other business in the market, always try to do a market analysis or competitor analysis and a market research about them. Again, in competitors, I would say there can be two things. One, a competitor who is similar like you, like for example Flipkart, Amazon. These are similar business, so they are like direct competitors. But there could be other competitors who might be relevant, targeting your audience directly. Like for example, I would say gaming app and an education app. See, both gaming app and education app, both are different. They are not competitors, but they target audience like someone between an age group of 13 to 25. Audience is
Got
same.
it.
So if you run ads, both of them is going to target the same audience. So you need to understand that also. Like, so that these are two things which I like you basically said.
Lovely. Lovely. Thank you, Shathyan. That was absolutely amazing. Thank you for being here. I look forward to talk to you more. Get more insights on the topic, and I look forward to have you another time on this podcast wherein we can talk about, let's say, branding or Instagram ads or Facebook ads or
Sure.
whatever. Uh, so
Got it.
yeah, until next time, then thank you, and thank you everybody
Thanks.
for being here. If anyone has doubts, can just text me and I'll ask Shathyan. Okay, I've got one doubt. Is uh is growth marketing important at the early stage?
Uh, I would no growth marketing. See, these are all different terms: growth marketing, performance marketing, paid marketing. These are just different terms only. See, at the end, starting you need users. So try to focus on that, either through organic or paid. Organic, I would suggest initially go with it. Try to acquire that 0 to 10 or 0 to 100 users directly. After that, you need to go with the paid marketing if your plan is to scale faster.
Okay, got it, got it. I think that's more that's enough from the audience side. Thank you, Shatin. Thank you for your time. It was absolutely lovely, and hope to see you soon and again.
Sure. Thanks. Thanks for your time. Thanks, everyone.